Well, friends, welcome to week 5 of this sermon worship class study on hospitality. For these last weeks, we have been thinking together, how can we do it? How can we bring new people into our midst? How can we welcome people in the way that God would have us welcome them? So we've gone through a bunch of things. We talked about how important it is to leave the 99 and seek out the one. We were reminded one week that it's not about me, and when it's not about me, I'm unable to serve. We were reminded about how we can make our house into a home where we belong. And the list goes on, but every week we've been trying to think deeply about the importance and the priority of reaching new people, welcoming new people into our midst. And so we're beginning this final filming right here in our Welcome Center. Seems appropriate. The tables are set up, the crumbs are still on the table. We had a big old event today, as we always do right in this place. There's a reason we call this the Welcome Center. We want people to walk in the door, feel welcome and loved in the way God would love them. And you know, we have a team of folks right now working on this space on how we can make it even better, how we can improve some of the child area over here so it's child friendly. We've been talking about how we can expand the kitchen over here. We've been talking about how we can do even more with the coffee bar that's right there. And in fact, we got this crazy idea. What would happen if we turn this whole wall here, which is pretty plain right now with TVs, what happened if we turn that into a rock wall? Put in a gas fireplace, put in some couches and chairs around the fireplace with the implicit message of you are welcome here, come on in and sit by the fire. Well, I don't know if we're going to be able to afford the fire, and I don't know if we're going to be able to afford the rock wall, but you get the message of what we're trying to do. We are trying to say, as a church, when you walk in the door, we're trying to say, you are welcome here. But, you know, the word welcoming, it's a great word, and we have embraced it for 5 weeks, and we're going to continue to embrace it. But here's the inherent challenge of the word welcome. It's passive. You know, we will welcome people as long as they take the initiative, drive over here and show up and walk in our doors, right? But this is World Communion Sunday. It's the Sunday where we recognize there's a whole bunch of people outside our doors who have not heard this message that we celebrate in this room. You might remember a couple weeks ago, we began this series with me on the outside of those big old doors, filming, reminding people of the role of those doors. But we are intentionally doing our last filming from the inside on World Communion Sunday so that we can be reminded of the importance and priority of us going out and extending this word welcome out to the people out there. And we're doing that all with the challenge and the encouragement for everybody to take some time to invite somebody to church. Invite somebody to a program. Invite them to a concert, to a Christmas Eve service. The list goes on and on and on. But your invitation is critical. And what we want to say is that it also has weight. To get us thinking about that, we're going to be talking about in church and in our classes this beautiful parable in the 22nd chapter of Matthew, which also is in the book of Luke. It's the story of a king. And the king makes an invitation to all the people that are around and invites them to a banquet that is prepared, a banquet that is ready. He's anxious to have them come to his house. But if you know the story, many people turn him down. And they turn him down with what seems like pretty good excuses. And so the king says, if you're not coming, I'm going to go invite somebody who will come. He goes out and invites some more people. They show up. He says, you know what? My house isn't full. Let's go invite some more people. You see the point? The king, who is of course God, is excited about bringing people into the house, having an abundant, generous, festive banquet, and celebrating. He wants people in the house. And that's a reminder for all of us to think about the way we invite other people. Because compare the weight of God's invitation in this parable to the way we think about our invitation to other people, right? Think about the weight. I mean, for example, Compare two different styles of invitations to an event that you might receive. Imagine, if you will, that somebody just rips out a piece of paper from a loose leaf notebook and just scribbles on there, "Y'all come," right? That's one invitation. But what if you get an embossed cardstock, engraved, gold printing, one of those heavy, expensive, wonderful, informal invitations? What do the invitations tell you about the event? See, one has weight, literally, and the other not so much. That's the point. The weight of the invitation is related to the weight of the event. I invite you to think about that and not forget it. Your invitation to people who are not here really has weight, and it has weight for a couple reasons. You know, you can go and look at all the websites and all the things that are out there and the reasons people come to church. You know as well as I do the number one reason why people come to church and join the church. It's because people like you invited them. See the point? Your invitation has weight. But here's the other thing to remember, is that if you look at the parable, all these people had excuses, and some of them were very good excuses. But the point of the parable is the invitation has more weight than even the best excuses. Hey, there's a reminder for you and me. Sometimes you're going to invite people, and they're going to say no, but don't feel bad, because you know what happened to God, right? A couple times in the parable. But the response is not just to quit. The response is to invite somebody else. That's the way it worked in the parable. Sometimes people just say no, and they say no because they don't have the bandwidth. Remember the parable of the sower, right? Some people don't respond well, and other people do this, do that, but there are people who are hungry for that which the church can offer. And they are that seed that falls on the fertile place and multiplies by 100. But you see, the responsibility for this doesn't just fall on you. It also falls on us as a church, right? We want to be a church that you want to invite people to. That means our worship, our preaching, our music, our programming, our kids, our youth work, all of it has to be, in a word, compelling. See, because your invitation has weight, and we want to be a church that responds well to the people you invite. Your invitation, God's invitation, all has weight. But there's one more reason why it has weight. I want to emphasize urgency, right? That's the part that you often forget about this parable. In the old days in the Middle East, if you prepared a banquet, a massive spread of food for people, remember, there wasn't refrigeration. There wasn't all those things we have today. So when you prepare it and it's all ready, you need people to come and come now. So it's important to hear also that sense of urgency that is underneath the invitation. Think about that. Your invitation has weight, and it carries forth. And it doesn't serve us well to think of the invitation as something, yeah, you just do, just nice. Certainly, we don't want to get over the top formal about all of it, but your invitation has weight. You know, I think it's helpful as we bring all this to a close and think about not only our welcoming, our hospitality, but also World Communion Sunday that we go out the door to welcome folks, to recall a poem that came out many years ago by Marianne Williamson. Now, if you've been to a graduation, if you've been to a baccalaureate service, you have heard this poem, but I think it reminds us of the importance of who we are and the weight of our invitations. And I'd like to read it for you now. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. You know, I think we do that sometimes as a church, whether it be welcoming or hospitality. We fear our inadequacy, but we forget who we are. We're children of the light. We're the salt of the earth. Our invitation by God's grace has weight and can and will make a difference. You know, it's been great being with you over these 5 weeks. We have learned so much about welcoming and hospitality as we bring this home literally on this World Communion Sunday. Let us not forget to extend that welcoming hospitality outside the doors in the days, weeks, and months and years to come. It's been great to be with you over these 5 weeks, and we'll see you around the house or the home